Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Juice Jones from Get Home Safe, and welcome back to another episode of Housekeeping. Today, let's talk about the power of a team and planning forward. So, currently, we're at the beginning of December, going into the end of the year, and I've had a lot of questions and conversations about what are we doing next, what are we building, and where's that going to pour into. And the reason this is important is for most of 2023, my plans were to stay as antisocial as possible, have these interviews, build up the platform, come out with a couple of articles of clothing, and feed the public in terms of what they're seeing when it comes to mental health and wellness and the platforms that we're creating, and who do I really want to work with. The reason that's important is because when you do work, and this isn't just a mental health or content creation situation, it's very much has to do with when you do work in general, it's very important to make sure that the room is built with people that you enjoy working with. Folks you love talking to, people who you don't mind when they bring up stories or questions that they're asking, or what you're going to go into next. And does it either lead you into things that you've always wanted to do, or do you get to learn, and are you interested in learning the thing that they're teaching and talking to you about? For 2024, I have a goal of doing about, I'd say, a little bit under 30 events for next year. And these events are going to consist in a space that's going to be built on sound bowl meditation, yoga, mental health discussions, spaces that are going to feature therapists that I've done work with, therapists who I've never met, and therapists that I would like to do work with and what that looks like, and coloring in the gray area that a lot of people aren't aware of after they get help, but they would like. These are requests and spaces I've heard from other folks that have discussed the work that we're doing and what we're looking to accomplish. So with that goal being set, we plan on making spaces for all men, spaces for all women, and spaces that are going to be co-ed. And the goal is to have one wellness plus one mental health discussion. Some of these discussions are going to be framed in terms of what are boundaries and what does that look like and how do we practice our boundaries. Some conversations are going to be about protecting your inner child and what does that look like for you as an adult growing up, and how do things that we've experienced or that we've done bleed into the adult that we are now, and how do we either fix or work on these things. Some discussions are going to be about, do we understand what wellness looks like in our life and how that's practiced outside of simple meditation, sound bowl things, and yoga, or the things that we advertise. Like, what does wellness for you as a person look like for you in your life, and how do you practice these things? Who do you reach out to? What are examples of these things, and how can we set ourselves better with better habits? And certain discussions are just going to be a group discussion of what are people looking for, what are the men expecting in the mental health space, and what do they need? What are the women expecting in the mental health space, and what do they need? What is the community expecting in the mental health space, and what do they need? I'm trying to move away from, you figure out what the topics and the things that are necessary are from social media, and you actually figure it out from the people that are living outside of the keyboard. And do the opinions differ in terms of what people are looking for? And if we make these rooms and this becomes a thing that the community needs and the community wants, what does the cost of that look like, and how do we create this thing that's consistent? In the year of 2023, I've done, I'd say, a little bit under 7 to 8 speaking engagements up to this point. A couple of speaking engagements we've done through the office that's connected to the mayors over here in DC. A couple of speaking engagements have been more on an informal setting through other offices that I can't name, but there seems to be this genuine curiosity and thirst for what does mental health look like within the department culture when it comes to offices and when it comes to a lot of various organizations in DC, and how do we practice that for our coworkers? And as we build these spaces and we come up with a team, I realize I cannot do this all on my own. Just point blank period. A lot of the folks that I'm working with now, I think I'm doing a more better and intentional job of organizing people, letting them know my intentions of what I have planned for next year, letting them know who I'd like to work with and if they want to be a part of that, and bringing these people into the spaces of what we're doing, because I'd like there to be an expectancy across the board for the folks that I'm going to work with and the people that I may work with. And I want to hear their opinions on, are we building this space correctly? What should our concerns be? And what are we looking to accomplish? Because for every sit down that I have and every episode that I have and every interview that I do, especially when it comes to the folks that share their stories with me and these things that I learn outside of the professionals that I work with, professionals in the mental health space and professionals in the wellness space, the person's story is as much education to me as the therapist that I speak to and the folks that I work with in the wellness space. And us figuring out what we could do for them as a community, what we need to learn for them as loved ones, and how we approach this better, I think is the thing that I'm most concerned with. And, sometimes just taking into consideration different opinions that I'm hearing. This month of November was National Mental Health Men's Month or something like that. And I didn't know that was the thing until this year. And I'm like, all right, well, who comes up with these calendar months? And am I supposed to be squeezing out content on something that I feel passionate about, but I haven't done enough research, especially when you have the holidays, you have people that we're taking care of, you have events that we have going on. And is there a better way for us to plan for the things that we're putting together for the future? And, is our community being served or underserved? Or are we just putting too much pressure on ourselves? So with that being said, as I build this team, I'm probably going to take some time off from here in terms of doing interviews every now and then, but I might slide in just to give housekeeping on how hectic things are. I'd like there to be a little bit more vulnerability and honesty in terms of what I go through as we put things together, or what my team goes through as we put things together, and show examples of how do we learn to work better together. I'm looking forward to having interviews with folks that I work with in the wellness space, so everyone that attends our event, they understand why these people are here and why we're all talking on camera, or why we may be having games of Uno as we do interviews, because sometimes not everyone does well on camera, and sometimes it's better for people to be able to have a conversation in the middle of doing something instead of being solely focused on what's going on in the camera. So as we bring my loose thoughts that are rolling around in my head together, for a lot of us that are coming to the end of the year that are making plans, I would just request for everyone to look back at the work that they've done and really ask themselves, not have we done a good job, but are we laying a good foundation going into next year with a lot of the things that we're requesting of ourselves. It's very easy to come up with grandiose ideas, and it's very easy to look around and feel that I've done enough for the community or I haven't done enough, but sometimes you need to just take measure of what you've done instead of measuring against what you haven't done, and be appreciative of that before you move on to the next steps of what's necessary, or ask the people who have attended the things that you've done or been a part of your service, hey, did I do a good job? Or giving an example of maybe having something that you could give away to the community just as a thank you for supporting the things that you have going on, if you're able to afford that. And if not, I think sometimes folks would like for us, the ones who are the creators and the ones that are putting our things together, to reach out and say, hey, did I deliver on the thing that you showed up for? And if not that, from what I wrote and what I advertised, did what we do or what we did in front of you, did that line up with what you expected of us? With all these events we have going on and all my private things that are happening in my life, especially when it comes to losing loved ones, taking care of the family, checking in with folks, figuring out where I fit in or where I don't fit in, or what belongs to me and what I may be trying to take responsibility of, I sometimes look at a lot of the things that I am doing and I wonder, hey, is it really okay for me to give myself credit for what I've done? And am I reaching out to the right folks that I do work with and telling them how much I appreciate who they've been and making time to be present? I don't like entering rooms thinking about tomorrow while I'm in the middle of today. So with that being said, this has been another episode of housekeeping. I hope everyone's taking care of themselves. I know this is the holiday season, and that's not usually easiest for everyone. So remember to keep myself and my care forward as you go forward into everything that you're doing for December, going into January. And, if you can, just pick up the phone for someone that you've done something for, or someone who may have done something for you, and just let them know, you're not doing that bad of a job if they're doing a good job. And if they aren't doing a good job, usually when my friends reach out to me to tell me what's going on, or some folks reach out to me because they want to air, I usually ask them, do you want me to just listen to what you're saying and take it in and be here for you? Or would you like my opinion on what's going on and my input on what you've told me? If the answer is yes, that's cool. I get to share. If the answer is no, that's cool. I get not to share. But try to give the people that are working hard that you admire, or people that you see that they may base the value of their work on who they are, be gentle, but reach out and be honest with them. There's only so much we're able to see when we're building these things, and we have a lot of blinders on, and it's so much better when you're able to just chat with folks that have a realistic view of all the effort that you've put in outside of how you imagine things going on. Because as we build a perspective, that usually gets us closer to being the community that we'd like to be, and not the community that we think that we are. So like, subscribe, share. I appreciate all you guys for pulling up. Hope everyone's doing well. It's cold as hell outside. So see you guys later. Peace.